just got an email before we came in here, and I thought I would read it just to kind of share a little bit about the endpoint of what we do, and then I'll tell you quickly the story of what we do and how we do it and why we do it the way we do it. So this comes from a woman, well, you'll get it. She writes, I want to thank you and everyone in the wider circle. As you know, I was one of the people who lost everything I own at the Peabody Street fire a few months back. I was allowed to come to a wider circle and select some new furniture, and I wanted to express my gratitude. After losing everything, it is comforting to come home now to see furniture that is nice. It helps fill the void of loss and makes the transition of getting back on my feet so much more easy. I don't have to worry about that, and I have a place that feels like home. I want you to know that I tell everyone where I got my furniture because they ask me, how did I get such nice furniture after the fire? A wider circle has helped me and others come a long way from that first night of the fire, where I remember seeing people getting up, setting up tents in the park and across the street and staying at the community center. I also remember your volunteers who carried out my new stuff to the truck, and I also want them to know how much I appreciate the care and hard work they put into it. Please use the photos. She sends up some photos, really beautiful photos. If you were looking at these photos, doing an apartment search, you'd say, I want that apartment, right? I want that furnished apartment. That looks beautiful. So if I were to sum up my feelings for what you did for me, it would be dignity in the face of losing everything and reassurance of my welfare. I'm not really tech savvy, so that's the best I could do with my phone there. So anyway, we started, like Dave said, because I was just volunteering with people, and I wanted my students to work with folks in poverty. I'm on this panel, but I'm really a poverty guy, you know, and I'm a poverty guy because I'm someone who believes that we're all connected. And obviously, when you think we're all connected, you understand that we're all connected to the environment, right? And we're all kind of one being spun out. And anybody know David Bohm and the implicate and explicate order? That's kind of my feelings about how we exist on this planet. And so I wanted my students at American University to understand that they were not different from people in poverty. They were just born luckier than people in poverty, right? Because the number one reason people are in poverty by far in this region is birth. And you can go to like Southeast DC, you can go to East Baltimore, and over 95% of people born into poverty there will die in poverty there. And if they get out of poverty, it's only because the poverty line is such a ridiculously low number, right? For an individual like me, you are not considered in poverty if you have an income of $13,000 a year. And if you're a family of four, you're not considered to be in poverty if you have an income, family of four, of $25,000 or more, right? The poverty line is around 24. So when we talk about how many people are in poverty, you can automatically double that. And in this county, you can take it from about 70,000 people in poverty to what the real number living in need is, which is about 250,000. About 250,000 people live below what we call the self-sufficiency line, and not the self-sufficiency line that the county uses, because the county builds in saving money, right, and other kind of recreational activities. And that's because that's what makes a life what we consider normal. But if you use something called the MIT self-sufficiency calculator, a family of four in this region would be somewhere in the 70s, as opposed to somewhere in the 90s for the county line. So the county line's great because it tells you you should save a little bit, right? A family should be expected to save. The MIT self-sufficiency calculator tells you what's the minimum subsistence wage. And so if you think how many people in our county, families of four or the equivalent family size, live below middle 70,000, then you know that there are a lot of people in need. And so when I went into these homes, I would literally see 7-month pregnant women sitting on the living room floor. I remember being in a Gaithersburg apartment, seeing this woman sitting on the floor, her belly out to here, and I would walk in with some volunteers, a couple interns, and I'd say, where are you sleeping? And she'd say, this is where I sleep, right? And I'd go into the bedroom, and there'd be a kid sitting on the floor, and you get the picture. In no rooms was there any furniture, not one room. And that is the case in apartment after apartment, town after town, throughout, from Southeast Washington, D.C., all the way up through D.C., spanning out into Prince George's County, Silver Spring, Southeast Silver Spring, Northeast Silver Spring, takes a break in Durwood, and then goes Gaithersburg, Germantown. Family after family, living in the equivalent of a completely different world. So my goal is not just to furnish those homes. Furniture is not our only thing. It's just what we're most known for. because we recycle/reuse about 7 million pounds of furniture per year. And that's going up by the day. So that's some heavy stuff. So obviously I don't lift it anymore. All right. And so we furnish about 4,500 homes a year, which is 16,000 children and adults who go from waking up in the morning on the floor and eating in the bathroom, because the bathtub and the toilet seat are the only places that are off the ground if you have no furniture. And that night, after getting served by a wider circle, they're sleeping in beds with blankets over them. If they want to go sit on their couch and watch TV, which is much more an important part of life than you would ever think, right? Having a couch and a coffee table to put your feet on at the end of the day, that's some pretty good stuff. Eating their meals together at a table and chairs, that's kind of the goal of what we call our basic needs program. And it's our largest program because it's exhaustive for our team to lift that. And we'll go into your homes to get your stuff. So when we furnish those homes, our model is people who have more than they need, we go to their homes. We only take what they ask us to take, of course, right? Because that wouldn't be very nice if we... So we get the furniture, we bring it back to our warehouse, we clean it, steam it, put it in our showrooms, and then people who have less than they need come and shop, and it's all free of charge. Nobody pays a cent. And we're doing, by the way, just as much for the people who donate in some ways, who don't pay us a cent for us to come get their stuff, as for the people who get it all free of charge. Now, they have to get to us. We don't deliver much because we need every bit of our resources to go get stuff, right, to keep our showroom stocked with stuff so when we bring those 4,500 families, they have a nice variety from which to choose. There's a lot more dignity in being able to select your own stuff than calling saying, I need all this stuff. We bring them a bunch of stuff. We get there. I've done this in Silver Spring. We had a woman, she was, very low income, didn't have a social support system, told us what she needed. We went there, third floor apartment. We get up there, take the door off to get this couch in there, nice, beautiful blue couch. And she said, I don't want a blue couch. So we took it back out, brought it down, and said, from now on, let's have people come select their stuff. You know what I mean? And then when you do that, you realize an unanticipated consequence of that is that there's a lot more dignity in selecting your items. And dignity is a big word, and so I almost feel a little bit like I'm going to get criticized. Do I belong up here? Because we are not just interested in redistributing that stuff. We're interested in ending poverty, and this program is Maslow's hierarchy, right? It's Maslow's hierarchy to the max. If you are a mom raising kids and none of you have beds, then your kid turns to 12, 13, 14. He or she is not coming home at night during the summertime. For what? For no food, for no bed to sleep on a hot floor, right? Why would you do that? So they stay out with their friends. And that's when we see at that age people beginning the destructive behaviors that then really make a successful life very hard to achieve. Hard enough to be born in poverty, as we discussed, but to get involved in any kind of destructive behavior makes it much tougher. And it also takes years off the lives of the parent who never sleeps until their kid comes home on a given night. So we want to make sure people have stable homes. And then the part about, I think, where I'm here is we don't give out everything people give to us. Because, as you were saying, you don't always get great donations. Right? You want it. We tell people, hey, we want stuff that has no rips or stains. We can't give out a mattress if it's got rips or stains, but we can give out a used mattress if it doesn't, because we'll steam it and then put it up in our showroom. But we still get a lot of stuff that doesn't have that. So the notion that if people have nothing, they'll be happy to get anything is a condescending, judgmental view of people in poverty. That's just my opinion. If you have that opinion, I'm sorry. Because I don't mean harm. I really mean to say that when people come to us and they look at what we've got, that's how they decide if we respect them, right? And so we believe that if people have nothing, they've already gotten the worst in life, and our job is to give them the best that we can give them. And so that's how we do that work. And so dignity really defines our space. And we're not just furniture. We're sheets, towels, dishes, pots, pans, everything that people need, children's books, toys, as long as they're whole, and everything. And then we are professional clothing. So we have a professional showroom that we think, and we say this, that it's nicer than Nordstrom's. And I'm kind of a humble person, but I will say that it is nicer than Nordstrom's. We go to great lengths to have this. Has anybody ever been in our professional showroom? It's nice, right? She's got her thumbs up for those who can't see that. But it is, and when people walk in our professional showroom and they see this thing and they say, wow, this is really nice. Is this free too? And we say, it's all free. And they say, how many items can we take? And we say, there is no limit. There's no maximum, but there is a minimum. You have to take at least 5 outfits. So when you get that job, you don't have to wear the same thing on Thursday that you wore on Monday. And that takes their spine and puts it from here to here, right? Their posture. Because being in poverty is like experiencing social abuse every single day, especially in a county like Montgomery County, in a region like the Washington region, where so many people have so much, right? Great stuff all around you, and you don't. What do you think that does to your psyche and your self-image and self-esteem? So we want to reverse that for them. So our professional showroom is beautiful, and everybody who comes to that, by the way, and we serve about 2,500 people, 2,500 people come to our workforce development program, and a lot of it is the interview prep and the attire. We also do job training, but that's different. And so of those 2,500 people, every single one gets a personal shopper when they come in. We have 3 dressing rooms, and so everybody gets a personal shopper. And so when those people come in, and we get a lot of returning citizens, people who have been in prison, and they are not feeling like people are on their side, right? And so when they come in, they're probably the least friendly to me when they come in and the most friendly when they leave. And it's the personal shopper who does the trick, right? Because they come out of a dressing room and the shopper's like, oh, no, you're not wearing that color tie with that outfit. And so back they go to the racks to get new stuff. So I don't want to take too much time since you've listened to so much, but that's kind of our model to restore dignity, and when people get their dignity restored, they're more likely to have the confidence to go back into the job market and to become a productive member of society. People we serve don't want to receive assistance. They have to. What they want is to have jobs and pay taxes. I promise you that's how they feel. Our view of people in poverty is wrong, unless you think that you've had a lot of time. And we base sometimes those opinions on 1 touch or 2 touches or 1 person, instead of getting to know a lot of people who live in poverty and seeing them as you see yourself, right? These people who are on the corners asking for help, they're your mother. Those kids who are dropping out of school in 10th grade, they're your children. And when we think of people like that, as our own family members, we say, what's okay for my child? And I can tell you what's okay for your child is beautiful stuff and a beautiful start to rising out of poverty.